In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I've always wanted to kill children. Okay,
Want you. Oh yeah, bro.
I want you.
Oh.
Hi, Mater. Finally back. So nice to be back in Radiator Springs. I want you.
I want you. What? Hey man, it's so nice to make this podcast with you. I want you.
I want you.
Stupidest thing ever. I haven't gone. Alright, so to recap, give me a quick recap. Recap.
So we were talking about, oh my god.
Well, there goes my focus. There goes my
You
focus.
know, it's fucked. We're going over basically like PS1, Oasis or Ready Player One, kind of like a main hub world that you can either play your games and interact with friends with like a currency system, but not like how the development would be like PS1. Instead of just it being ultra realistic by default with almost full dive headsets and just like, it's in the far-fetched future. Basically just discussing how we could have that.
Okay. And then you also mentioned how we would evolve from that slowly but surely, right?
Yeah, so the idea was that you would start from the PS1 graphics almost as if like how the Quest 1 started with like VRChat's development. It started with really low poly worlds to introduction of Quest 2, and then both of those having access to higher quality avatars, limiting it from initially from 1,000 polygons to 10,000 to now it's accepting 20,000 polygons, which that's amazing relative. And then you're able to now have like dynamic bones, textures that have depth to them without running off of like performance. All of that stuff, but basically doing that from scratch within a development stage. Or do I feel like I'm being interrogated for the FBI?
No, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. This is a nice casual conversation, man. But we came up with this topic because of ENA, right? So my question is, bro.
Yeah, because...
How...
Yeah, bro.
Camera's right behind you, so it's your armpit.
Oh, my bad, bro.
No, it's fine, you're good. So with this like ENA type of thing, because for you guys that don't know, ENA is like this like, I should probably put gestures on. I don't know how the Turron avatar. So how in my description, ENA. Well, a bit of a side topic. Parenthesis. There's just a big parenthesis right here. So ENA is like this YouTube series that takes inspiration from PS1 graphics and just like liminal spaces and overall like irrational and just out of the pocket stuff. One thing that can be really like compared to would be the LSD Dream emulator from the PS1 game that released in Japan, which nothing makes sense, and it's like the environments, the creatures, and everything is just PS1 graphics, and there's not really logic to it. You just kind of just play it just to explore. But ENA has like this, like you mentioned it before. Remember about the House Moving Castle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like, it is more of. Yeah.
No, go on.
No, bro, I lost my train of thought. That's why I'm saying you go.
Well, you mentioned that for House Moving Castle, the Studio Ghibli movie released in 2004, gives you this sort of...
Oh, yeah, so it has like a mystery to it to where it just like lures you in. Yeah. Yeah.
Go on. Keep on.
It's fucking cheating. Yeah, it basically has this like
Uh,
it just throws a bunch of mystery at you and then wants to vaguely explain everything or not go into any detail, and then it's just like that's that. So it just like lures you into what is there.
yeah, like it gives you like a sense of. It gives you like. It shows you a lot of things that just leaves the mind open to whatever you want to think that it is. Like for example, the little like black creatures that take the magic away from the Witch of the Waste. You know what those are, or like why is like Cassifer fallen sky from the star? Like the aliens, or like is it a demon? Like he said it was, but whatever. You compared it to
The
it.
speaking fire.
Speaking fire. I don't know what were we going with this. All right, ENA. So you compared it to ENA because they give a lot of world building, like the merchant Turron. Why is Turron such like a currency there? Or the Moony. Why is it a moon? And why does it want to be skinny? And, hold on. Broke.
Or just in general, why like the whole world is the way it is, because it gives off this vibe of like damaged, like hard drive. Like it is like you had a bunch of games on your computer and you left it there for like 50 years and it just got corrupted and they just like mixed together.
Because it also
So it just has like this weird.
because it has 2D and 3D like graphics, which I think is really cool.
Like assets in it, yeah.
Yeah. So in order to make this like ENA kind of oasis, to make ENA a playable game, just like the world building around it, I guess, would it be servers that we would connect to in order to travel from game to game?
So,
how would...
well, with like a lot of yeah, it would be like servers, right? So you would have an initial company, right? Like for instance, with Steam VR, you can already do this, right? When you open your Steam VR thing, you know how you spawn in your little room, or whatever room you decide to be in. If you ever notice on the left side or on your far right, there are rooms. Whenever you spawn in, that is a server, right? That is a small server room you can literally invite your other Steam friends to. So Steam as the platform, right? Whenever you open up Steam on the thing, it is a server-based thing. That's why it has remote play, right? You go through the server of Steam to allow you to do it. So you would be like, for instance, if you were to do that in like a VR aspect, you would develop something, or I guess buy servers, but something in the way that like Steam works, either that it localizes, like it uses the host computer, right? So like localized play, like remote play, right? If I join you, I'm using your computer as the server. But if it's like, as in like, or like for instance, right? Like you were to join my homeworld, right? Like or enter my house in the Oasis, that house would be my computer, right? So, all the games I have or whatever are on that computer, but the moment I like walk out of my house, it enters a localized hub world, right? So this is like Steam's server or something. That's like the ideal thing, and it's probably how you would make it like perform the best. Sorry, I just like fucking. But yeah, so it would be on servers like that. But go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, oh, it's okay, take your time. It's okay, you're in a safe space. It's okay, take your time.
Some therapy shit.
Like Dr. Phil. So how do you feel about Ena's world? Dude, you know what we should do one day when we record this? I should turn to Dr. Phil out there in the middle of it, not say anything. You act normal.
Like it's looking at me, and then it comes back to you, and it's just Dr. Phil, and then it comes back, and then it comes back, and it's the other avatar.
And then we act like nothing happened. You're just like, yeah, man. What else happened? No, but,
What you could do is like have the camera in the same space, so like after it, you would be sitting there switching avatars. So like for me, it looks like I'm just completely oblivious to the fact I'm staring directly at you and you're switching avatars.
That's Shrek.
You're just like doing random shit in the back. Sorry.
You're
Side
fine,
tangent.
you're fine. What were we talking about? I forgot what we were talking about.
You were saying
man.
like would it be based off of servers, but in the long run, I would think you would want to have something built like Steam. But I think initially, since if you're like a startup community or like system, you probably have like 20, 40 servers at max. If you got a good like income, like Zenith, right?
Workplace,
Remember
yeah.
trying to load into that, and it was like we have 4 servers you can join.
Oh yeah.
They
I
bought
forgot about
4
that.
servers, so that's like $30 each. And I'm fucking broken. Give me a second.
Anyways, make sure you click the link in the bio below. We have new merch available. And Ross and TJ Maxx. Make sure you get this. And we're back.
So,
Hey man.
I think on the early sections, I would think, if you're doing the ENA thing, you would want to have. That's why I was thinking. That's why in like the other role I was talking about, like Doom, having a base FPS game people can enjoy and play and make in-game currency, and then basically behind the scenes be working on how to get that hub world and home world up and working, right? Because you can have it to where it spawns you in, and you're just in that home world, right? You can invite your friends, all of that, but then you can later. But while you do that. So you invite your friends to your homeworld, so you can then go and leave to that FPS game. So it would be like Apex lobbies, right? You go and invite your friends, then you would queue up and then go into the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just so you can get the concept of people joining off of one another to get into that world. Until you have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
To buy more servers like something like Steam. Sorry, go on. Whole stop.
Bro, what the fuck you mean, bro? Go on, man. Like, I'm not telling you to
Sorry,
stop.
I fucking rant, man, and then I feel like we're losing the...
What do you mean? The audience, we got no one to watch this. What do you fucking mean? This is I can watch in 30 years, be like, man, these idiots, bro. Who would have thought?
Man, these fucking...
Turun.
Okay, buddy. Okay, maybe not that.
My bad, I might offend myself.
Hey man, you know turun. Hey man, you know that one word you say all the time. Yeah, Nick.
Just dub it over every time you say a curse word. Turun.
Turun. I'm trying to do that, but what I was gonna try to bring with the servers up is because in Ready Player One, like when we see Pulsiver try to like meet up with H, and go to like the Doom world, go to like the main lobby in the hobby where everybody spawns in to the race world, he just walks through a portal and it's instantly. How is there a way we can do that without like a loading screen and you can just like walk through it?
I ain't no game expert, but basically, if you already see from like VRChat, right, it would be the exact same thing. You know how like you join a world and they have like preset little portals that are sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you play Blade and Sorcery in the dungeon maps, if you would notice, you're walking down a corridor and it looked like, from every angle you moved from, that was another room, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what Blade and Sorcery did, it was a PNG image, right? It was a texture that moved left and right that looked like the room you're about to go into. And then whenever you get to a certain distance from it, it triggers it, deletes the room behind you, puts that same wall behind you, and then spawns in the other world in front of you. So basically what you could do with that is that you have that portal, right? And that portal looks like it's that game you're gonna load into. And then whenever you go through the portal, it then spawns you into the game world, right?
But wouldn't that like delete everybody that's behind you? Like make you like lonely in the world? if it's deleting what you were just stepping into or where you're stepping in, and you have like this short frame of time where you like walk towards a portal and then creates it, you'd also have to have like a proximity area where like, oh, he's about to enter a portal. Let me delete everything behind him, create the new world. But
Well, if you notice in Ready Player One, you go to the portal, it's super fucking loud, and there's a shit ton of portal like particle effects, right?
Mhm.
To the player, it looks like a smooth transition of him just hopping through a portal, right? Realistically, with like hardware, you probably lag a little bit and then go into the next world because you're loading an entire new section of a map.
yeah,
But as a sense, basically yes, everyone behind you would be deleted relative to whatever hardware you have, and then it would spawn you into that other world, and then everything else will spawn in. But with VRChat, like right now, if you have a headset that allows you to push really close or has a bigger field of view, and it's not like VRChat's not made for that set of field of view, like a 250 field of view. Right when someone is like right here, at the edge of your field of view, or like behind you, right? It loads in or freezes in place all your fizz bones, all of your movements, and only tracks what your pill is doing, right? Whether your pill's like talk box, right, like where you're talking from, like the visine area, is either low or high, whether or not you're moving an object around, and is pretty much just like you're just like this. From my computer's point of view, whenever I turn around, you're just stuck like whatever position you were in, but you're moving around. But then the moment you come back into my field of view, you load back in for me, and it's super quick, right? A lot of modern games do this to where like anything within your field of view is loaded in, right? So if you're, for instance, like you're looking past my chair right here, but you can't see this part of the dresser, right? In most AAA games, to save on processing power, whenever you're looking at this wall, right, or there's like a wall in the way, this whole half of this thing is not loaded in, right? Or from a certain view distance, right, that object over there is a different model, right? So it's a lower polygon model than what it is actually, but it's just like it's so far away, the pixel density, you can't fucking tell anyways. That's why you have fallback avatars, or like if, like for instance in Grand Theft Auto, you go to an area too quick, or you like teleport to an area really quick, everything looks super weird and low polygon, and then it slowly loads in because your player way over here, all this stuff is still loaded in. It's just loaded in as its lowest possible model, which is probably like 1 or 2 polygons, so you're able to play. Because if it was all loaded in as max quality all the time, your computer would just go. So if you implement something like that, then you can run completely fine. Like you can see this in like Ascension Academy, the VRChat or Chipz's like roleplay. If you watch Kurita as he makes maps and stuff, or at least whenever he was making maps, I don't know if they still do the roleplay.
Well, hold on. Side parenthesis.
In Unity.
Parenthesis here. Explain to everybody what Academia is and who's Chipz and all that.
Ascension Academy, Stealth RG, streamer.
Dude, you have your own camera, man. You can use it.
Oh my bad.
Because I don't think it. Well, if you play VRChat for a while, you know that who Chipz is and like the whole like VRChat. But
what I'm going into is like the idea of like map creation. It's just an example. If you were to go to his videos, he shows you like a lot of map creation, and in Unity there's a wall you can put up in map building, where like I think this one has it right as you enter like these stairs, where it deloads everything underneath the map, right? Or basically deletes it, right? So we are only loading this top area, right? That's why whenever you're lagging really bad and no one is up here and there's like 40 people downstairs, you can come up here and you get like 90 frames again, or 75.
Hey, can I speak to you real quick? I'm laying the shit out of this.
Yeah, can I speak to you real quick? I'm about to fucking eat shit. So they have like a deload, right? It's like a little wall that basically deloads everything, and then your avatar basically has that. If you were to do that in the Ready Player One game, but you already have everything on its lowest setting, basically, you can start introducing that newly to it, and then I guess back to the portal thing. That entire section of the map, right, the PvE part, is an entire area that is deloaded to its lowest possible rendering. And then the moment you start going through the portal, it either lags you, put you in a tiny loading screen that allows you to go there, right? That little black screen is basically just saying, "Don't look at me. I'm naked." That's what every loading screen is doing. I mean, you can just sit there and wait as everything fucking builds itself back. Usually not very pleasant. Easier just to put a fucking wall in front of you. But that was you do with the portal thing. But if you do it like how VRChat does, it reverts everyone back to their base pill, right? Because if you put your laser on someone, it's a pill, right? That's what everyone looks like to the game, right? So if you turn around, everyone's your pill. Going through the portal, here are those people walking around, they're just pills. And the moment you go through the portal, fucking deleted. You're not on the same server, or... You're probably in the same server, it's just none of them are...
Taken in mind by the computer.
Yeah, you don't care unless they go through said portal, right? You could probably do something where it's like, this character's IP... we do not track until it goes through this portal. So like if you go through that portal, it adds like a 1 to your name, right? To your like ID. So it now knows that you're in this game, right? You're running around with this game. And the moment you go out of the portal, it gets rid of the 0. There's a lot of issues with that, but base idea of building something like that. But yeah, that's how that would work.
But yeah.
But yeah, you know.
Well, my idea for like the whole like no loading screen was for like games like God of War and Jedi's the Fallen Order, I think.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. So what they do is that, for example, they have like crawl through like small crack in like a wall. And then a small crack, it takes like 10 seconds to like get through the whole crack or like crawl under it.
Yeah, but it's technically it's loading.
Yeah, it's a loading screen. They delete everything behind you, and then they like loading everything in front of you. And there's no loading screen. You're still in the game. You're still immersed. So for God of War, Ragnarok, and actually God of War like normal one too, 2018 one. What it did was that you have this for teleporting. Instead of teleporting you into a loading screen, and then you come out, what they do is that if you want to teleport, you cannot instantly teleport. You have to like open this door frame of rocks, walk through it, and then you go through this like purple forest, and then once it's fully loaded in, this random door appears in front of you, and you go through it, and you go into like the area you wanted to go through. So
the separate room was basically like
like loading screen. So if
it was like their loading screen. Yeah,
if you don't want to break immersion or everything like that, you can just like make that one like room you can go through, I guess. Which, okay, think of it as like.
I guess you could do that with the portal. Yeah.
Yeah. Think of it as like a consumer. What would you like want the portal to be, or like would you like want it to be customizable, or like just like this, like a specific thing, or just like a black hole, a spiral, the SAO thing? I don't know. Hand tile over the walls. Like what? Would
I think like if you were a developer, right, and like you had a Discord, you could probably ask everyone like, do you want, when you enter this portal, right? Say you have the Doom room, right? It's literally copy paste Doom. You can ask if like, hey, do you want it to be like it's literally a flat 2D texture that looks like the room you're about to go into. And you just go through the portal, and then it like really quickly tries to load everything. And the only people who see that are have lower hardware. Or do you want it to be like a room you enter, and then you could probably just ask on Discord like what you would want? My personal opinion, I think what most people would do, because if you look at Ready Player One, when the guy puts his headset on, it's like the fucking SAO like
Yeah.
like little things flying by, like the what is it called? Like the Star Trek.
You mean Star Wars?
Like warping. Star Trek, they do that, right?
No, it's Star Wars. They go like the light speed.
They both have the fucking portal thing, whatever.
Horrible that one, Chief.
Yo, bro, I didn't do that. I didn't do that, mate.
I don't know that one, Chief.
I did this shit.
I didn't watch Star Trek.
But
Sorry.
what are you talking about? That? What you mean? Shut the fuck up. But I think it would be best if, like, because you know in VRChat, right, you go to a blue room, your avatar is, if you go to some worlds that are, like, very basic Unity worlds, and they have, like, custom, like, wall things, you can see your avatar literally just floating in the corner of those maps, as you load into the next map. Like, you can still hear the fucking music, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, for most people, for
so,
you, bro, for you, when you load
for
in,
me, you can see that at the start.
I fucking
like,
hate myself.
Man, fuck this camera. You fuck this camera, bro. God damn it, bro.
Technical difficulties.
You saw those pins that should allow. Probably just that one's fucked.
No, I clicked anchor by accident. So yeah. How was this bitch set up? That was my question.
Hey, Will, do we have any drinks downstairs?
Oh, your production. Your production.
Yeah. Oh, the pink stuff, right.
Will's like this character this guy has.
Well, while you fix that, I'm gonna get a drink.
I did fix it. I did fix it.
My mouth is fucking dying, bro. My mouth is dying.
Okay, my mom. Ah.
God damn. Oh.
I can't use either camera because one faces my back, one faces your ass. Okay, I guess. What the fuck is this man doing? I'm gonna leave a chat box that says I went to pee.
Alright. Went piss.
Okay. We're back.
Anyways, the question was
aliens. Yeah, man. Dude, did you see the cockers?
No, not that topic.
Okay.
Not that. We're not gonna go in that, please. That's another rant. You're gonna talk me till the fucking morning. But the portal thing, I think. What I was trying to get to before, but I went on fucking tangent. Is do you know how like on SteamVR you can select what loading screen you go to?
Yeah.
Right. You saw how mine was the old SteamVR. Not SteamVR. Old VRChat loading screen. I think you should allow for, like on Discord or whatever thing you're doing,
like
for each person to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can pick what portal thing they're doing. It probably won't be as grounded, but I think on your default to save on everything, they just enter the portal. From the outside point of view, it could be like really thin, right? Oh, God, excuse me. It could be really thin, but whenever you enter the portal, it's just like really long. So it's like loading, basically. You just keep walking until you pop out the other end. So from everyone else's point of view, it looks like you hopped in and you hopped out. But in reality, you're just like doing this slow, infinite walk. But that's why I'm saying if you lower the the graphics PS1, it'd look really quick.
Oh yeah, like PS1 graphics. I mean, yeah. We don't need loading screens for
You're just gonna load it instantly.
I mean, like Ultra Kill. Like, you don't really need that much loading screen. Oh, Ultra Kill. The elevator. You fall down, you don't see a cut, and boom, you're next level.
Exactly. Well, like with Ultra Kill, what it does, which I discovered with I thought it was doing, but I discovered in the multiplayer mod, is you know how it looks like you're falling infinitely down this giant tunnel. All it's doing is the moment you fall to the next texture that looks the same, it spawns you above it. So you're just doing this until you're able to load the world.
Which we should clarify. Ultra Kill is like this, like.
Look it up.
We want to keep the viewers in the podcast, man. Oh, bro, there's this series called Breaking Bad.
Ultra Kill is like a
Watch
PS1 kind of like
this fucking guy.
high movement VR game.
What the fuck is wrong
Not
with
VR
this
game,
dude?
desktop game.
Yo, bro, this cool series called Breaking
Your
Bad.
bro
we should probably explain what it is, huh? And watch it. 3 weeks later. Anyway, so Jesse Pinkman, right? But Ultra Kill, yeah, this PS1 game, action adventure. It's ENA, but it's actual game, and no, it's not. It's like Doom, but it's not like Doom actually. Search it up. But anyways, what I was saying.
Really game development.
Yeah. So, do you think it would be like better to make it like you have to walk through the portal, or would it be cooler to just like fall down it like in Ultra Kill?
When Ultra
Next
Kill, then
question.
it means you have like tubes everywhere, right?
Oh yeah.
So like, if your goal in the Oasis is to add more games, because I'm pretty sure in like the movies thing is that it was one initial hub world, and more companies just started adding on to it. So like a company would come along, it's like, hey, can I add my game to it? And then they would add it, right? That's why there's like thousands of different games, right? It would be like Wii Sports, hey, can I add my game to yours? Sure. But they would add it to the Oasis, and then you would go through a portal, and it basically just loads you to their game world, but it's using their engine in their world. But I think personally, it would be better for like an actual portal. I would like, in my personal opinion, I think it would be better if the portals are stationary, meaning like the start, it's like a designated area you want to go to get to that portal. You want to leave a world, you physically leave the world, right? It's not like in VRChat where it's just like hey man, it's music and chill. Let me just
like it breaks immersion.
Drop a portal.
Yeah.
Like, look at that shit. Let it. Like it's just it doesn't. It's like.
My genius. With a third camera, in case anything like this would happen.
Which is something like, it looks very out of place, and like it's low poly, so it's able to, people are able to pop a portal down while a bunch of people are in a world, but it doesn't match anything in here. So allowing it to be like a designated area, a part of the world, like a spawn room, you can then make like world creators or game creators could basically design their portal room, right? If the FPS game decides to join, it could be like the portal room into like the start of it. Because you know how like one thing I've been thinking would be really cool is, do you know like laser tag, like bowling arenas, they have like this pre-room you go into and you put all your shit on, and then you enter like the briefing room, and then it puts you in the game.
Yeah.
Well, if it was like, here's your FPS game, right? You enter the room as your avatar or whatever, and then you put your gear on, right? Or you walk through the screen or whatever, and it puts your gear on. Or you select your character and it puts the gear on, and then you go into the game, right? That would also allow you to load everything if it's like you enter this pre-match lobby, while also making it seem seamless, right? Because doors is a thing you could do, right? The moment you open a door, it's all nothing exists until you open the door.
Well, let's go more in depth with that. So, we don't see it in Ready Player One. Oh, do we? I'm not really sure. But for like clothing or accessories or just equipment, would you want to like physically have to put on a shirt, or like would you just like have to like click equip? What would be better?
I think putting on clothes in VR would be incredibly fucking difficult.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But you seen like remember the scene, right? The main character, he switches his hair.
Yeah.
Right? He makes it from really like flowy to static.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more or less he just like swipes through the thing, and you like clicks it, and then it pops on your avatar. I think that leaving that game like is very nice. But having aspects to where you can still physically like mess with it if you want, right? So like if you want a hoodie on, right? You don't have to struggle to put the fucking hoodie on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you only have 3-point like motion, like for just hands and a head, right? You can't move your elbows or whatever. I think just being able to click hoodie, put the hoodie on, and you now have the hoodie on, but being able to like physically grab the hood and put it on your head.
Oh yeah, like such a...
Put it back, or like pull the strings to adjust, right? So it's like it's interactable, but
Mm-hmm.
if you want to like get naked or
Oh,
whatever, or you want to like put a suit of armor on, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like instead of having to like physically strap every single one of these straps on, it's just like here, let me put it over my foot, and then it snaps on, right?
Well, that's on Ready Player One. They used to have like trackers and sensor controllers. Now, in a world like in SAO, like in deep dive reality, would you want to like physically put on those, or like would you just want someone to equip those?
I think personal clothing, like for instance the hoodie or whatever, if you want to keep immersion, probably putting that stuff on. But if it's like, alright guys, let's get ready to raid a dungeon, and everyone has just been using their base, like, thrower, like, ripper armor, ripper swords and stuff, instead of having to physically undress yourself, and then put on another suit of armor, I feel like that would be a little excessive, right? Like, you can have an option to where it's just like, here is now a physics object in the world, and you can put that on, take it off, give it to your friend or whatever. It's just like general purpose, right? If you take your t-shirt out of your inventory, put it on the table, your friend can pick it up and put it on. But if you wanted to, right, because it is a video game, you can just click put t-shirt on, and then it's just like with Kirito, whenever he gets his first
Like the black coat.
cloak,
Yeah.
he just clicks and it just like pops on him. But then later on you see him like waking up in his bed and like putting clothes on. Like, why are you putting clothes on? Click the menu. It could just be like out of habit because you have a full physical body to do that.
But now that
But
I think about
that's
it,
like a full.
So for like for an online game, you would you feel the clothes being put on you, right? Like you put on the clothes and you feel it, right? Because you're immersed, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's full dive. So it's like your brain is just
Yeah.
being tricked. It's in a video game.
Yeah, you feel everything. But would your brain have to shut down its nervous system and only turn it on to make it feel what you want it to feel? Because you're still feeling like cold, hot from your room. You're just feeling like your clothes in your skin in real life. You turn off your one of your senses, the touch one, and then the thing turns it back on for you. Did they explain that in SAO?
So in SAO, the way the initial nerve gear works, I'm pretty sure, is when you put the headset on, it basically interrupts all information that is going in between your spinal cord and your brain, right? So, except for like your organs and shit, right? It's your main like nervous system, right? So like moving your arm left and right, right? You send a command down to your arm, and then your arm sends a command back to your brain saying whether or not it's able to then move like this, right? So your brain sends a signal to your arm saying, "Hey, move up this way. So it moves up this way. Once it's completed the task, it sends it back to the brain and is like, hey, I've completed this task, and your brain's like, good job, whatever, communication. But what it does is the moment your brain says move, left arm, the computer then interrupts that signal and then sends it to the VR game object, right, which would be your VR body or avatar. And in doing so, your real life body does not move, right? So the real life body is just kind of just stationary without moving, and it would probably be in this like sleep state, right? Do you know sleep paralysis would basically be that, right? But instead you're like conscious, right? So it would put you in a willing sleep paralysis state to where your brain is still awake and still active. It's just your body is sleeping, right? And whenever people are in sleep paralysis, they physically cannot move their body with all conscious thought, right? Like they could be screaming bloody murder, help me, whatever, and their body's just like but they're conscious, their eyes are open or whatever. And that's how the nerve gear works. Real life applications of that kind of sound dangerous because what happens if the headset's randomly shut off? Is that person just in a conscious state of paralysis? Or do they just like all of a sudden like snap into motion? Because with every human, they're built different, right? So you have a different nervous system than like your mom and dad. It's just based off the initial design of it. So whatever, realistic issues out of the window. They have a headset in the show called the Ogma. And no, not the Ogma. Whatever. It's another version of the headset, and what it is it's a lesser version. The initial one, all heart rate, all of that was simulated within the character, meaning your heart was basically probably running off of a predetermined like program from the headset, right? So all signals were interrupted from the device, and then the device would send to like your heart and lungs to just breathe normally, send a normal amount of chemicals through your body, all of that. But your VR character would be getting adrenaline, heart pumping, all of that. But with the other version, it didn't do that. All it stopped was motor function, right? So you see in episodes where Kirito is literally laying down and he's being shot at, and his real life body is like panting, sweating because the adrenaline's being pumped through his body and his heart rate's in super high.
Yeah.
And they have a safety system in that one. If your heart rate gets too high, the headset automatically shuts off, wakes you up, and you're basically back down. It's basically saying, chill the fuck out. I don't care what level of video gaming you were doing. This is not safe for an unconscious body laying on the floor getting a massive amount of adrenaline.
Dude,
So-
you walk in. You walk in. Oh, no, not even that, bro. You have like a full-on seizure in your bed. You like take your headset off.
Someone rips the headset
What the
off.
fuck, bro? It's level 13.
Yo, bro,
Dude.
Yo, bro, I was about to kill that boss, man.
Dude.
Bro, you're a fucking... Basically, but I think that second headset would be more realistic of what that would be. So,
it takes in mind
anyways,
the player's like body and like actual health.
yeah, because it was a third party. It used the initial headset, the original one, as a base, but then basically went through Congress and was like, hey, what
Hey,
makes
let's real.
safe?
What makes safe? I mean, I don't really. I lost all hope, man, on those. And once it, you know me, bro. I don't think a lot, but when I do, I get sad. And I was thinking about like the deep dive helmets, and it probably was never gonna come true anyway. Most we're gonna have is probably the Oasis kind of headset, because bodies are different, minds are different. One small bug or like one small like glitch won't just turn off your headset. It could kill you or leave you paralyzed from one side of the brain or something. It could have like long-term effects on you because it's part of the game now is your actual body and like your actual person. Right now, if you crash me, I get disconnected or my PC just crashes. But if someone
Yeah,
like
you're basically in the hands of a machine that
pretty
can
much
have, crashes
it's like you being
or
on life
system
support.
reboots, or the power can just shut off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't really think that
It's like a conscious life support.
pretty much. Hey, grandma. Oh my god. But yeah, it's like.
Yo, grandma, you want to put this headset on? The moment they put it on, fucking at gunpoint.
Like unplugs the thing. The
Heart
Wi-Fi
starts
went out.
freaking out, unplugs headset.
But yeah, I just lost all hope on those headsets, man.
I think realistically, what we would get is something in between, right? Where you're not like unconscious laying on a bed with a headset on, controlling like a VR body. I think the most we would get would be a mixture of both. So where you're wearing a VR headset, you have hand controllers, but the headset has like it is getting information from your brain, so it knows the position of your elbows, your knees, your legs, all of that, right? So instead of having like these individual trackers, you're having to track everything. It's just within the headset.
Wait, you hear
Right.
that? The phone's ringing.
What? Oh yeah, there's an Easter egg in this map.
How do I shut it
If
off?
you wait here long enough, the phone will ring and then it will tell you. Here, I'll show you. Come here.
Oh, God. Hold on. I gotta take the camera with me now. We're gonna do a little podcast vlog.
Pause.
No, a little podcast vlog.
What were we
experience.
just talking about? What were we just talking about?
Oh, I very forgot.
Okay,
man.
sorry. The the practical version of like the VR/full dive. I remember
Yeah.
now.
I don't remember what the fuck we were talking about. I hate this, man. We're having such a nice time. The phones are ringing, man. And I can't turn full volume now because this music kind of low-key good. Right, bro?
Yeah, kind of bobbing.
There's a little adventure here. We could have just respawned, huh? Here they
Just
help.
pick the phone up.
Can I get 2 supreme lovers and 2 more supreme lovers?
Is it saying anything?
It's just SpongeBob.
Oh, it's just doing that. Okay.
It's just that,
Before this, you could take it to the second platform. It would spawn drinks, and then it would open that door, and you could do a whole Easter egg, like a whole other world. But anyways,
back to the studio.
Back to what we were doing.
Since we're like off topic now, how about this, bro? The name of the podcast, the Great-Pog Podcast. But Pog is spelled P-O-G.
Podcast.
Yeah, but it's spelled P-O-G.
Great-Pog.
Great-Pog Podcast.
Sure, I guess.
It comes out of the tongue, bro. Just like my scene. Alright, world.
VR and other shit.
Oh god. Get comfy again, bro.
Anyways, I think the most we would get would be like an in-between, where it is like the headset basically tracks where your body is facing, whether or not your heart rate's increased, your adrenaline's pumping, that kind of shit. Because if you look at like the index controllers, they have a grip sensor, which most games do not use, which makes sense. Not very many index users. But technically, if like I were to grab a rock in one of these games and squeeze harder in real life, my real life strength would be implemented to crushing that rock. So if like the headset is basically tracking whether your heart rate's increased or you're really calm it could then like translate that to the in-game character,
Mhm.
right? So if it can detect that you're very angry, right? Like in a magic RPG, it could add anger effects, or it could add like you're really calm, right? Then you're able to cast spells really nicely.
Real
But
nice.
I think mainly, I think mainly it would be to like estimate your character's like in-game body at most. Or like, for instance, like you can literally think I'm walking without moving your legs because you're like, man, I want to go to the door. And then you could like think of walking to the door. But you have to consciously like, all right, I want these muscles to move. But that is a signal straight down the spinal cord, but you can send that to the headset instead. It'd probably be like a learning curve or some shit, and then you're able to move while like conscious, I guess. So you're able to stand in place and run around, while like controlling the character. But I don't know yet, cause like Valve says they're working on shit in interviews, but I have no idea whether or not that's them just like, you know, just like fucking.
Yeah, some turrón. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just a drone.
Turrón. Yeah. Also, one thing just popped into my mind, bro, because someone asked it right now, as you can tell. So, I don't know if you remember, but like a few years or so, for those of you that don't know, let me use the other camera for this shit. So, for those of you that don't know, like Zenith, it's like this like MMORPG VR game that's for the Meta Quest and just Index and whatever. PlayStation 2 actually, where it's like just an MMORPG. But you told me that at some point they were gonna implement like AI characteristics that however you act, your
Basically,
character acts.
ChatGPT. Yeah.
Yeah. However you act, your character will act like you if you're offline, and you're gonna have NPCs, and your character's gonna like learn how to talk to you, etc., etc. So my question is, well, actually, before I tell you my question, so somebody modded Skyrim so that ChatGPT is connected to the NPCs, yeah, and like you talk to them, anything you want to talk about, like full open microphone. You can ask them, "Hey, you're in like video game," and their ChatGPT is gonna reply with their voice and their own thoughts and their own like personality. Like, yeah, I know I'm in a video game and everything. I exist in Skyrim and all that. I tell them, "Hey, can I slap your ass?" And he was like, "Yeah." So it just depends what you ask them. It's an infinite amount of possibilities. Now my question here is, what the fuck was my question? Fuck, I hate when this happens.
I'm guessing like how do you think they would implement that? Or
Yeah. So like AI, like in, for example, the Oasis, like how far would they go with AI, and like how you act and like different characters? Because you can pretty much Detroit become human. That's kind of what it is. Like, how far do you think they would
Well,
take this?
so the thing you have to understand with like AI and for instance ChatGPT is the way ChatGPT works initially is it's not sentient, it doesn't have its own thoughts, nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT has just looked at all of human conversation, every single word we can speak, and looked at it as a math equation, and thought of, all right, this person says this word, right? What is the most common word that will come into response to this said word, right?
Sure.
So it kind of works how like the human brain works. It works in the way this human brain works is in like whenever you're talking to someone, right? As you're talking to them, usually you are thinking, like for instance, in an argument or like a conscious conversation, right? Someone asks you about something, you are building a sentence within your brain. You might not know exactly what you're going to say, but you're building a sentence in your brain already as they're talking, right? So whenever they start talking, then you respond with this complete message. Right, so usually like literally 5 seconds before they like the moment they start talking, you start building what you are going to say in response, right? Usually that's why usually when people have like their full attention and they're just like I just want to listen, and then you ask them a question out of the blue, they're gonna be like, because their brain literally wasn't prepared to have said conversation right off the bat. So, ChatGPT, back to that, is basically that part of your brain in a computer, right? So whenever you were talking to these NPCs, they are responding to you in the best way to their character design, right? You might type in that, oh, this character is very oblivious. They're just an NPC. They're just like a basic person who lives with their family. But you give them a base background that it will take from. So the AI will then say like, okay, I cannot say that it's a fucking engineer if he cuts wood, right? Like that's all he does, or he's just a like woodsman, or he just like makes shoes. He can't be an astrophysicist. So I think, at least with that mod, you can tell that one implication of that allows every NPC to almost seem like it's a real person. I think in a game like the Oasis, you could very, very easily get that in there. I just think if it's going to be like quest lines, like within a different video game, right? It's an MMORPG within the Oasis. I think those have to be very, what is it? Very confined, right, to what they can say, right? Like, you can't be talking to an NPC, right, and then try to give it a midlife crisis, and then ask if you can get the 4 flowers you have to pick up in the quest, right? Like, the NPC can't be like, wait, what the fuck? But it's just flowers. Why am you give me 4 flowers? Like, how does it make sense? You give me 5,000 gold if I give you 4 flowers. That doesn't make sense. Just go get the fucking flowers yourself. You can't have that, so you'd probably be like quest lines. You could have more of a conversation with them, or like random NPCs, you could probably have more of a conversation, but quest line based things, probably fine. Like for instance, in Ready Player One, you remember the guy who like had the coin, the little robot guy?
The butler, yeah. The butler, yeah.
Yeah. He's an AI of the co-founder, right? Basically, he's just an exact copy of the initial co-founder. So you could probably give that guy a lot more freedom, as in like, you ask him a question, he's going to respond to it. But if you make a deal with him, he's going to then respond to that deal. So you can give certain AIs different freedoms. So I think yes to that question, that like AI so most definitely have to be in that. Otherwise, it's going to be like Zenith, right? Where it's just like a fucking player model with a text above it. Like, I guess it's a fun game with other people, but if you're able to make it to where like AIs are able to walk around and have their own lives and own stuff on the surface,
yeah, like Red Dead 2,
and have a conversation with them, yeah, then it will make it more. What is it? Like it's a livable world. Like the world exists. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, so I think it just needs to be. It would just have to be limited to what AI, what NPC is going to have said one. You know.
Yeah.
Also for memory.
What do you mean for
memory issues? So, like, you can have a conversation with an AI, and be like, alright, this is how everything works, and then you leave the room, the next person walks up to it, it's probably going to delete your entire conversation, right? Moment you stop talking to it, it's going to delete its entire memory.
Because if you have, talking.
Okay, this is the exact conversation you had with this AI, that's taking up space in a hard drive. It might be a few kilobytes, but you have millions of people interacting with that same AI. It's gonna either become a massive racist, like with most AIs that are just left on the internet, or it's just some random radical. It's like, yo, bro, I'm just trying to get a flower quest from you. Why are you like, kill them damn mages? Like,
I mean, I never thought of that.
Also, you probably take up a whole server room with that.
Yeah. Fuck.
So you probably have 1 or 2 AIs that are able to save their entire conversation. So probably like the history guy in like Ready Player One. That guy's able to remember every conversation, every person he's with.
Yeah, he's designed for
Because
that.
he's probably connected to a whole server room,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Damn.
but if it's just like, hey, buy an Overwatch coin today, you don't want them to like, oh, I fucking hate Overwatch, made my family fall apart. You'd be like, what? I'd buy a coin if you want, I guess, if it doesn't break your family apart. Like,
Speaking of Ready Player One, did they ever? I'm probably stupid, but did they ever explain like in the movie how they got all the memories like in a third person point of view?
oh, they probably just recreated it. Because if you look at a lot of the like the videos, the guy is like staring at the camera. It's also suggested in the like you know how the third person camera, they were able to move around the world and look at everything.
The drone.
And then the main guy they're talking about is like usually looking directly at the camera. It's probably like an AI reconstruction. So they're like NPCs recreating that said thing just with the texture model over them. But it's also suggested the guy who died, remember at the very end of the movie,
He uploaded his consciousness.
Basically put his consciousness,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
probably just his memories. You're probably just looking through his memories.
That's crazy, dude. Would you do that? Would you upload your consciousness to like a computer?
If I could, I would definitely like to, if it was the fact that we figured out a way to normally move your consciousness to a computer, because transferring your consciousness to a computer is just making a copy, meaning if you were to make a transfer, quote unquote, your consciousness to a computer, you still exist in your normal body until you die. Nothing happens.
Mhm.
You're conscious inside this body. There's just another version that makes it look like I was living here and now I'm in a computer. So,
Oh,
I mean, I guess, and the fact that
if it was like last second.
that other one gets to be a fucking computer.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Oh, that'd be
for
crazy,
the most
bro.
part, not really, because it's weird.
What do you mean? How would it be weird?
Because it's like, damn it, I'd probably be like jealous of the version that's in the computer, but also worried of the version in the computer because it's made out of
Ones and zeros.
physical ones and zeros, and it's made out of like steel and metal that is inside a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what my memory is saved on, right? Whatever it's saved on, that one object, that one hard drive, that one SSD needs to stay intact, right?
Yeah.
Meaning any radiation, anything that comes through, right, damages 1 0 from a 1 and completely corrupts the file or corrupts the memory. Meaning the version of me inside that computer now has a weird version of Alzheimer's. So where it's completely fucked. So almost like a copy of you is more vulnerable in the sense that it is literally, it has to deal with a version of itself it cannot protect that's in another world. So like think of your mental, like you are an immortal being, right?
I know I am.
Depending on how you can live forever, only dependent on a factor in another universe that you can physically not touch, whether or not someone steps on it or not, or turns the switch off and on. That is, it's probably a terrible mindfuck, and like really bad, because the computer you're on has a system crash.
I mean, yeah, but it should just be like, well, now we're getting to like philosophical, but it should be like in real life. Like nothing, like promises me that somebody just not gonna like come crashing through my house, or, like burn my house down, and I die right here. Like there's gonna be risk.
Yeah, but with the human brain, whenever you're like going to sleep, or you like go to sleep, or you're knocked out,
Mhm.
it puts safety measures in front of your basically your consciousness to where it like goes to black, right? And then you wake back up.
Mhm.
With a computer, there is no safety measures. Meaning you could just be having a conversation and then
Well, yeah.
fucking you get turned off and then it gets turned back on and you're like, where the fuck am I? Or it could do a system reset, right? Where it turns off and then turns back on and then it gets some initial memories and starts running the files again. But it didn't save any of those memories before. So it's just like a past version of yourself is now running on the software.
Well, but it'd be just like in real life, though. Like, if I die in my sleep, it's gonna go black, and if I die, then they keep going black or whatever you want to think about it. But like, if I'm in the street and I get run over and my brain gets smooshed, or like I die instantly, I get shot in the head, like that's also not a safety measure.
Yeah, but if that happens, right, that's set in stone. You're dead.
Yeah.
But with a computer, if it crashes, it turns back off. If it turns off and then comes back, it's not dead, right? So imagine like you get hit by a car, your brain is like crushed or like partially crushed,
Mhm.
and then someone puts you really back together really quick and then turns you on. But you have either you don't have the memory or it tries to run you on a past version of yourself, right? So imagine you a week from now, being in the body 30 years from now.
But you'd still be alive. You would survive.
Yeah, you'd be alive, but it would be, what I mean is like the concept of like you'd be very
like discombobulated.
confused, like how many fucking times has this happened,
Yeah.
right? So imagine coming back and it's a complete system restart and then you are the initial version that's been uploaded, right? But it's been like 30, 40 years, you've had relationships with people, and then you come back and it's like amnesia, but with a computer that is just infinite. Just like,
I mean, yeah, you'd be
but
confused.
and what I mean is like it's a switch. The problem is like with amnesia in real life, someone needs a plan, needs to hit you in the fucking head with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
All this shit needs to happen, but if something bad happens, it's set in stone, right? That is going to happen. But in the fact of like a computer, I can just do this. Now you have amnesia.
Hold on. Do it again.
It's like literally,
Do it again.
it's just like this, and now you have amnesia. So it's like the entire concept is that you're very vulnerable inside the computer. I just said that.
There we go. But think about it. You don't feel any pain from it. Like, no physical pain, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess mentally, quote unquote, or like
And
logically.
the whole thing is like mentally is really fucked because you can just like imagine your entire 18 years of experience, your entire life, right? Which consists of you waking up, you going to sleep, waking up 365 times 18, right? That's quadrillions of terabytes, right, of information that make you. But that one traumatic experience that makes you harder, like right now, like say it's, for instance, this didn't happen, but your parents broke up, right?
What the fuck, man?
They broke up whenever like you were like 3 or something,
What the fuck?
and then or your parents was shot, but then that made you like a stronger person, like you were more
Batman.
like, yeah, you were Batman. So you were more like resilient. That made you the person you are, right? That was a big initial thing. It was a traumatic event. But then that just gets corrupted, right? That just gets corrupted and can't get access to, and is either deleted by the computer you're in or whatever, and then you come back. So it's like, fucking hell, bro. So it's just like you T-pose. No. I'm just gonna stand up for right now.
Shit.
But it's like you would then turn and sorry.
You're fine. Sets it back down. I was gonna sit up. Oh, okay.
But it's like this. It's like this concept of just like you might turn into a completely different fucking person just because your hardware was damaged, right? Like physical hardware was different, so now your software is completely different. So like, let's say an entire hard drive was destroyed, but that entire hard drive, right, is corrupted, and that's your entire childhood, right? So you can have a me and you could have this conversation right now, but then you go and it's like, oh hey, you remember when we used to play like GameCube or we used to play Overwatch on your computer? What do you mean? What is Overwatch?
Yeah.
Like that, all of that is gone. So it's like Alzheimer's, but in the current version you are, and can just happen whenever. Alzheimer's, that happens due to like a physical thing and happens over time, right? Like you can physically see this slowly happening, and depending on what you're doing, you can subside it, right? That's why people are very, very old. All their friends have died, and then it's like, where am I? It rarely ever happens in someone who's like 20, 30, 40. But with a computer, someone could be walking by, and a fucking piece of like radiation goes straight through your hard drive, and now your digital version has Alzheimer's. And they could end up being like, you could leave them there for a couple of months, like, oh, they could go and work by themselves, and you come back and he's this completely different person, or he's just like this weird fucked up mess. Because if you ever tried to open a corrupt file, it's not like, oh, you can't use this, it like fucking crashes.
Yeah.
So imagine you like, oh, you mean Overwatch? They're fucking just fucking
I mean,
A poses and then goes back to as if you first met him again, and it is like. So my only concern is that he's very vulnerable.
Yeah,
inside
but
there.
I mean, my thing is that so are we. I mean, maybe not radiation.
Yeah, so are we, but we can do something about it.
I guess,
right?
But
Someone points a gun at you, you can talk your way out of it. Someone points a gun at that.
not in Mexico, bro. Not in Mexico, bro.
Yo, bro, I'll buy you like 30
No more, man.
PS5s
18th
for free.
Amendment.
Like, bro's just gonna be like,
I mean,
hits a
okay,
wall. There goes an entire human life.
So probably for like the buying eternal life, quote unquote, with like this saving your consciousness in like a hard drive, basically, or like somewhere. To not occupy as much space, you could probably delete memories on purpose. Like, you remember every single time you worked at McDonald's. Neither do I. I would like all that to be deleted, because when am I going to use that in real life? Or like ever again? Or like, for example, all those times we like just sitting there on the SATs, just like taking them, or just like afterwards those 3 hours you had to wait. I like to like just erase that memory. That's a few terabytes off of memory, I like to think. So it'd be more compacted. And for the whole thing, like on like being vulnerable, radiation is a problem, because my thought was, oh, we just go to space and that's it. But no, there's more radiation up there.
No,
So
more radiation.
more radiation. Yeah. So yeah. So I was thinking like a nuclear
Yo, bro, I'm
plant, bro.
asleep.
I was thinking
Sorry.
a nuclear plant. So I was thinking a uranium facility, bro. No, but maybe the ocean or something. I don't really know how to solve that problem. Like the
Well, I
memory
mean, like,
problem
yeah,
is,
you would make it like a fucking, you can protect that thing a lot. It's just in the fact that you have to do all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, me making a copy of my consciousness, and then me thinking of that, right? And then the rest of my life, what do? I dedicate my entire existence to making sure that version of myself lives a perfect existence.
Well, you're thinking of like,
And
oh,
then
right now.
the version of me inside there is like, oh fuck, bro. There's another version of me, pretty much babysitting me.
But you're thinking like that thing being created today, as of like 2 minutes from now. But I'm thinking of like, oh, I'm like almost about to die, like I'm about to be unplugged. Let me just, oh, okay. Let me just die now, and then let that thing live.
I guess if it was like I'm on my deathbed, then I guess. But
Or like if you're like
I'm
tired
nothing
of,
else to fucking do. I'm about to fucking die. Go
Well,
for it,
think-
motherfucker.
think
Like,
about it. Okay, so they tell you, okay, it's $10,000 if you want eternal life. We take care of the rest. And you have $10,000. Like, okay, bad. And you just they could make something that you can copy it, and then like a millisecond after you die in real life, and you see your own body.
well, I don't know.
You'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm still
Mm.
alive, just inside this thing. Let's think about it, man. So my problem with dying, bro. I would miss a lot of stuff. Not that I miss playing Overwatch or I miss this. I will miss the future. Like I will not see like us exploring space or like probably alien soon, but I won't see like what secrets does the universe hold and what secrets does Earth hold.
You won't see the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's gonna be a
I get
game
that.
that's gonna come out that's gonna be perfect for you.
That's gonna be perfect,
Yeah.
exactly what you want, but you're not gonna
Yeah.
be alive for it.
Exactly. Like for example, right now it's like Overwatch. Oh, not Overwatch. No, hell no, not Overwatch. VRChat.
What the fuck, bro?
It's like, oh my god, I love
Sorry.
this VR
Yeah.
game. Like it has some flaws, but I like playing it. And there's gonna be that one SEO game. There's like, this is perfect. I love
Yeah,
this.
it's perfect. Yeah, come out.
Yeah, but you're not gonna be alive by then. It's not gonna be like the perfect book, the perfect movie, the perfect everything. At some point, it will be created, not for everybody, but for you specifically. It will be created at some point, but you probably won't be alive by then. That's my problem with death, that I won't be able to see the wonders that we have yet to like discover.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Just like my problem with this situation, this
Just
is
like
take
my
a pee
problem.
break because I have to pee really fucking
Oh,
bad right now, man.
Okay, I'll
We can
just,
continue it. Just keep the thought. Keep repeating the
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
like it's a dying
Uh,
memory.
Subscribe, like,
Sorry,
comment.
sorry, man. I'm like doing the little potty dance over because I want to hear you out, but it's like, bro,
It's
I'll
like,
piss myself on stream, and
It's
you're
like,
like, yeah.
bro, you're off camera, so all I'm hearing is like you complain on the back. Yeah, I'm just gonna shit talk, I guess. So, what's up, guys? Y'all are with me now. It's Sino hour. So, yeah, that's my problem with death. I mean, think about it. Whoever's listening right now, or whoever's like watching or whatever, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'd rather you watch it because they have some like funny visual gags here. But think about it. You as a person are completely different than anybody else, and everybody else has ever existed or will exist, unless like you get cloned or something. Now, at some point, there's gonna be the perfect something for you, the perfect partner, for example. There will be somebody that their personality and their looks, just like through the roulette of life, was born into the right family, into the right like physical features, the right personality, that you are attracted to them in every single way possible. But you probably won't be alive by then, or they have been created by you, but you won't had not been alive back then. So you're gonna have the perfect game, the perfect movie for you specifically, but you will be dead by then. Anyways, man, so I like feet jobs. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah,
For
you're fine,
peeing.
bro. No, you're
Oh,
fine.
my bad.
There you go. There you go, man. There you go,
But
bro.
yeah, no, I get the idea of like you not being there for everything, like being born in a period where nothing interesting is happening. Where like at most we're born to the introduction, right, or the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Which seems like we're mainly in either the beginning of it or the end of it. Like born too late for the space race. Born too early for the colonization of like Mars or something.
Yes.
That always gets me.
Uh-huh.
That we'll never get to see like the rest of the universe or
Yeah.
other junk. We'll only see what we can now. And I get that idea of like putting yourself on something that will basically be able to live and see everything like that. it just like comes down to like computer copies is like it would almost have to be a one-to-one perfect recreation of the human brain. And I think if you can get to that point of a perfect one-to-one recreation of the human brain, you probably could just keep the normal human brain up and running. Like
Sorry, man. In production, we alright, bro? The microphone's kind of shitty right now. You could.
Am I lagging?
No, bro. You sound like you were like humping your microphone for a second.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. No, just don't hump it again, please. Oh God.
You know, bro, that shit just happened.
Oh God. He just grabs the headset. Yeah, bro. Like I was telling you.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand,
bro, I'm scared
man.
of death,
Continue.
bro. Stupid, bro. Well, yeah, bro, death. Yeah, man. This was a bit more. There you go. Oh, okay. Let me move it back again. What the fuck has this been doing? Yo, chat, you seen this?
Oh, I'm moving over. Sorry, my brother said I should move forward because I was like leaning against his bed.
Oh, okay. But death, right? What the fuck are we talking? Oh yeah, like human consciousness 1-to-1 ratio with the human brain. We'll go on
Yeah,
now.
man. Sorry. Sorry, say it again. Sorry.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Dude, we're just watching this like.
I mean,
oh
all
my-
I can tell you about is like the issues.
Dude, we're just watching this like, oh, the video paused or something. Why are they speaking? The video paused. But yeah, it's just this is a problem. Hopefully, it gets fixed before we both die. Even then,
Your
hopefully.
bro.
Yeah, bro. Oh, there's a patch coming out soon that solves that issue.
Should be an update about a month.
Yeah.
Fucking God has like the Discord update.
Dude. Well, okay.
New update coming to humanity.
We're gonna add aliens, but we're gonna make death like be removed completely from the game.
Hell's
Yeah.
full, right? Like, fuck.
I mean, if you
Servers
think about
crashing.
it, we were born at the right time, at the wrong, not too soon. Hold on, I'm thinking.
Did you die?
No, I'm thinking too soon. Yeah, we were born too soon to like explore Mars or something. We were born too late to like ride cowboys or like ride ride horse. No, be cowboys and ride horses. Or be be a pirate, you know, or be a pirate. Or
I
something.
get
You get
it.
me? But we were born at the right time to
Born
like
too late to be astronauts.
yeah. Well, no. I mean, we could still be
I mean, to
astronauts.
walk on the fucking moon. I
We
mean,
can still do that, man. We're probably able to do it in our lifetime.
yeah, I know, but that's we currently don't. We are currently not on the moon, right? That is in the future.
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah. But we're born at the right time for like you and I to not just be in our call, but be in a fictional world that's held on a computer.
To be in VR.
Yeah, with fictional avatars that we like control with like our movement and stuff. Like that's pretty cool.
But it's almost like I personally think it's almost like it's too late in the sense that like it took the entirety of 2016 to basically last year, the year before maybe, for VR to kick off, right?
Mhm.
I mean, playing VR now is like kids are growing up, right? From when they're like literally a toddler. They
Yeah.
grew up with the Xbox One, right? And for me, that was like, whoa, fuck, that shit cool as shit. But
Yeah.
now they're getting like PlayStation 5s, like devices that can literally play almost real life-esque things, and then they're getting Quests. Just VR, right? You just get a VR and you get it at home.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to play with my friends on a virtual reality world. That is something they wake up and it's just like, this exists, and I'm not gonna think of it. Oh wow, it's so cool. It's just like, oh, this is a game platform I can play on.
Yeah, it's like the world I
So
live
it's
in.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, whenever I was a little kid watching SAO, it was like, I want a headset right now and I want to play it, but it was always later on, and so now it's like, I need to find a job, or I need to drive a car, I need to do real life things to be able to
Yeah.
do this. I can get on VR. I should be able to get on VR. Realistically, in the future, is going to be like every so often. And I mean, one thing I do think is kind of cool is that, in the sense that if we keep playing VR into like our 30s or 40s, we are going to be like the veterans, right? The old like pioneer people
Yeah.
who basically saw the entire development of it and are still playing with the new software. So you could introduce new people and new stuff, because like whenever I joined, it was literally like, here's your headset, here's the world, here you go.
Yeah.
But now it's like you have people join a world and it's like, hey, I'm a trusted user, I can show you around different worlds, here's the cool stuff you can do in a world. And we're gonna be those people. It's just not, I wanted to be, whenever I was a kid, I wanted to be the person who was taught, basically, by
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you
those
said
experienced people.
about like kids growing up with like PS5s and Xbox and all that. My little sister, hold on, you motherfucker, you moved again. There you go. And like my little sister, like when I was little, I had like the Xbox, and then my mom gave it out to my cousins, and like my aunt like cut the HDMI cable because they were playing too much, and that was the end of it. But like I grew up with the PS2,
Yeah.
and like, oh my god, this graphics, like I can see Hulk. He's here in my screen. Oh my god. But for my little
It was
sister,
like mind blowing.
yeah. And like for me, like as I think 16, as a 16-year-old, and I saw the controller of like the PS5, how it has like the haptic features, like you shoot and it like moves for you. I was like, oh my god, I want that. Like that's so cool. But my sister, she was playing the PS4 earlier today with the controllers that they haven't even like have the feelings. Like she asked me,
She's like, why doesn't it?
yeah, why doesn't it have it? And I was like, oh, well, this is the old one. It's like, oh, okay, can I play a PS5 one? It's like, yeah, sure, here you go. Because she's used to that. She's used to having a PS5 as I knew the Xbox as, like just something like, just like something amazing. That if little kid
It's
me
so,
saw
yeah,
it
it's
right
weird
now,
to look at, yeah.
it'd be like, oh my god, I'm in heaven. But now, like the more we advance, the more other things get more like for example, your parents or like your grandparents. You have a big like full color HD TV. Your grandparents probably have like a black and white like small screen.
Like
But
vintage,
yeah, but even the poorest people now have like small, like maybe a small TV,
They have
but
like
there's full
smartphones
color.
or
Yeah, they have a smartphone. They have their own portable TV. The more we advance, the more better products become available to more consumers. So imagine what our kids will have that we wish we would have had in that time. Just think about that, because it's not that. It's think about it. The Nintendo Entertainment System, Mario 64, was not even half a decade ago. I'm sorry, not half like a century ago. It wasn't 50 years ago. It wasn't 60. It wasn't 100. It was like 10 years ago. Like it's going fast. And now with AI, AI was like in like 3 months ago. AI was nothing. Nobody spoke about it. Now it's like, oh, Skyrim with NPCs that just talk to you
It's
and
like,
have
oh, I have Alexa in my house.
yeah, you
like,
have Alexa.
yeah.
So if we have covered such a wide span of technology in the past like 20 years that you and I were kind of, well, you were more alive than I was, but for me, it's
Yeah.
like you're like 2 years ahead of me. But what will come in 5 years? Because we were slower back then because we didn't have the technology we have right now. Now that we have the technology we have right now, what will come in 5 years or 10? What will happen when we're 30, when we're 40, 50? If we get to 60, what will happen after 30 years of new, fresh technology? Just think about that. It's mind-boggling that we're
Yeah,
going
it's
so
really
fast.
fucking cool.
It is. But it's also scary, bro, because those nuclear warheads
Yeah.
do be getting closer and closer every day.
Yeah, that has been a worry since my fucking grandparents. Like, there's gonna be a worry forever. But like, for instance, like, you know how you growing up with old console things that were like, wow, that's amazing that this
Yeah.
advancement came out. Wow. But it was almost like, as a little kid, you seeing, like, for instance, Hulk on the PS2,
Yeah.
and seeing it smash a car and that car fly off and hit
Yeah.
a wall, right? It's the
Yeah.
funniest fucking shit. But it was like,
Dude, I love that.
seeing that from playing, like, for me, for instance, playing Smash Bros. On, like, basically a fucking 2D screen, and then it's a side scroller,
Yeah.
and playing the original, like, Zelda games, and seeing how it was, like, 3D,
Mhm.
kind of. It was more just flat texture with depth. But seeing that advancement of seeing a 3D Hulk, at the time, my little kid brain was like, that is real. That looks
Yeah.
fucking insane. But me looking back at it, it's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? These are 3
what?
polygons painted green.
bro. Where's a smiley face on the front?
Fucking Roblox character.
But like seeing that like progress, that slow progress to where like a new console came out, like the difference from me growing up with Star Wars Battlefront, right, is that was the most massive game I had, right?
Mhm.
It was literally 16 players. I thought that was massive. And then me getting an Xbox 360, sorry. I mean playing Battlefield 3, I seeing like
Oh, yeah.
64 players with tanks and helicopters. I was like, whoa, this is insane. And then like going back, and this is a good segue back to the initial topic, is another thing
ENA.
I'm kind of, no. The idea of like having that PS2 design for VR games in an like Oasis kind of thing, where it's like this is the initial thing. I think having that where it's like initially low quality, right? Not good looking, but it works. It's a game that you can enjoy and play. But as the years go by, it gets better, right? Like for instance, like you introduce the new generation to a VR game that is PS2, PS1 kind of quality. Like with Gorilla Tag, right? Literally PS1 quality. And so many kids loved it.
Hell, we played it, bro.
Yeah, we played it. That shit was fucking funny. And you play that, and then if you have an update to it, or another game comes out, like for instance, the Oasis continuously updates. Instead of it coming out, for instance, highest quality, visual, like masterpiece right off the bat, meaning like nothing looks better, it makes it to where the next generation who comes into it, or the generation who comes into VR, is not like, oh, I expect it to be better than this, right? Yeah. So then developers are like, well, I can't get better than Kratos, real 3D scan. Yeah. Literally takes more of Kratos' face to fit on my hard drive than the entire game. if you start out low poly and then it slowly builds, then you have a generation that grows up like ours, right? Um, Instead of giving them everything they want, for instance, like your little sister growing up with haptic controls on the PS4 controller, PS5,
Mhm.
and then going back to the older one and being like, what is this?
Yeah.
Going back to that old gritty lower quality stuff and then slowly building it back up to really high quality, to like being able to play a game and it looks like Ready Player One or Elden Ring, and having a whole generation grow up through that would be great. Which, me realizing this now, that's exactly what the Quest was for. That entire thing. So a generation grows up with a lower quality device, and then it slowly advances to PC. That makes so much more sense now, because the way VR was set up is that you needed a high expensive computer to play VR.
Yeah.
But then now them switching it to Quest and now allowing anyone to play on it, and then now that generation who bought the Quest is growing up, getting jobs, and being able, for instance, you buy a PC, buy a PC VR, it gets millions of people to get into that, and blah 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 blah. You know.
Marketing, bro. Marketing. Done at best. Marketing, bro.
Capitalism.
Like economy, bro. I took a class on this, bro. Like the charts go up and the producers go down, bro. That's how it goes.
Lose my hand.
Yeah. I was still thinking about the 3-polygon Hulk. That shit was funny, bro. That man would pick up a pixel and throw it. I'm like, oh my gosh, you just killed that man. In reality, it's like pixel being thrown. Dude, my favorite was throwing like cars at tanks, bro. That was the best. That was cool.
I remember seeing how Jerma played that recently or a couple years ago, whatever the fuck it was. He played that exact game, and it was called The Incredible Hulk or something.
Yeah, it's like from the first movie.
Yeah, and when you were watching that, I was like, I remember this game. But it was, I swear to God, it was not this bad.
I know. I feel like that's because we like remember the games with the graphics that we know right now. You feel me? Because for example, dude. Yeah, like
it's such minor increases, right? That it kind of like blends together.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like a smooth transition. Yeah. Which also, I feel like
But with the new generation, it's literally like
going back to the first topic of the phone ringing downstairs. No, I'm just kidding. No. Going back to like the topic of like making it look.
My lungs
like
can't take
games. Man, of the games looking like PS1, PS2 graphics. When we were talking about the monkey tech thing and how we're like remembering, right? I was like, oh man, we should play that again. Oh, but it costs money now. But it was pretty funny though. So maybe we should like, buy it and play it again. Like maybe going through that PS1, PS2 motherfucking ass. So bitch is ringing again. Damn it. The world volume down a little bit.
Here, no, you stay there. Okay, I'll fix it.
Oh. No. So. Yeah, just how like what's it like? No, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Just like. Well, actually, never mind. Scratch that one. Here's some info about the channel. I don't know what I'm gonna put. Here's a good way to like segue to things. So your to-do list. Watch ENA. Watch ENA. The production. Watch ENA. Search up Ultra Kill. Search up Jerma plays The Incredible Hulk. And like, subscribe. Like and subscribe. Anyways. Fuck. Oh yeah, but like nostalgia.
256?
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like time flew, bro. So this recording has been going on for an hour and 11 minutes, and there was 40.
God damn.
This is gonna be a long ass podcast, but yeah. All right, nostalgia, and nostalgia is like a good like thing to use to get people to buy your product. So PS1, PS2 look at like games mid reality, but like they look good, like Ultrakill, like it's PS1, PS2, but there's a lot of pixels in it. Like it looks good. It looks good to play, and it runs smoothly, like at 120 frames per second. That could also like mean a lot to people for like nostalgia purposes and just overall how like they, for example, the Mario 64 on my new Switch, I bought like an advanced version of it. Looks exactly the same video game, the same amount of polygons, but it just looks better. And I played it because of nostalgia. The music, the enemies, the stars, everything. It's a nostalgia is a good weapon to use against people who are soft to the past.
Which is almost everyone, unless you
Yeah.
have an issue up here.
Uh, Wonder, yeah, bro. Imagine. Jerma look. Wait, okay.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, bro. Imagine. Anyways, yeah.
Fuck me, man. Yeah, no, I get that because, for instance, contractors. That's exactly the whole point. The game is popular. People are nostalgic about the original Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
And so they'll download maps and play those old Call of Duty zombie and normal, like game modes. And then I had no idea, but a lot of people are nostalgic about the original Star Wars Battlefront games, that's a really popular thing.
Yeah.
Almost all the time, either in the middle of the day or the end of the day, the entire servers are covered in Clone Wars, like the original Star Wars Battlefront 1, not the new stuff, but like on the PlayStation 1 and 2. And then you have like Team Fortress 2 is showing up on there. So I think with VR, a good thing to do, starting out with like easy ports, is just old games, converting them to VR. Because you already have an existing player base who loves and enjoys these games.
Yeah.
It's just, they don't have the hardware to use that anymore. They've thrown it away. The servers don't exist anymore. So it's like a remastered, but it's in a new form, right?
And also,
enjoy it in
as a kid,
a
when
new way.
you were playing Incredible Hulk or like Battlefront, you're like, I am destroyed, or I am the stormtrooper. I am the one in the video game, because you were dumb and stupid as a little kid, right? Now, as an adult, like for example, if I'm playing like God of War, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not Kratos, but I'm playing as him. But now, if you put this headset on me and you dress me up as a clone,
It's a whole nother form of
I am
immersion.
this droid. I control this drone. I know I want to do what I want to do. There are no limits.
Yeah,
to
this is
what I
my
do.
individual
Yeah.
body. Like with Kratos and all those other games, like with a lot of modern games, like an Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
You're playing as that character, but that character has voice lines, they have everything else.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just, I do well as said character.
Yeah.
And
Kratos is never gonna say the N-word against an enemy, but I will against a stormtrooper in Contractors. That's what like,
I guess that works.
that's an example. But it brings immersion to like
But yeah, I
grown
get
people.
you. It's
Yeah.
an entire new version of immersion. Yeah, because it's like with VR, right? At least the initial, like, opening of VRChat. I know I keep like fucking jumping
Fine.
to examples, but initial version of VRChat, you see this like Stealth RG, Chipz or Whoops, Rafflegator.
Mhm.
They all had an avatar, and they used that avatar entirely. They modified their character based off that avatar, and that was them. Now it gives you all these options, so people are just switching in between like this.
Yeah.
So it gives like individuality. But with all of those older games, the number one thing is that one, you have a nostalgia, and two, it was just you're a general soldier, right?
Yeah.
You could still add older story games in, but it's a lot more different whenever you are that person, right? Your character might still say voice lines, but you're just like, oh, those are the voice lines and whatever. I'm gonna do this, right? Whenever you're playing as Kratos or whatever, you want to go and save your kid because
Yeah.
it's your kid as Kratos. But if you were standing in Kratos' fucking body, moving his arms around, you might only care about fucking killing things.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that kid.
He's an NPC.
And you should be able to do. Yeah. I fucking care.
Nah, if it was a
shoot
hot
arrows.
woman NPC, bro, that'd be the difference. There's purpose. There's purpose in that. But yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
Also,
that
about the stealth RG, now that you mentioned that, I've never seen someone in the main group of stealth RG, Chipz. Chipz. I've never seen the group anyone change their avatar constantly, even for a joke. They don't change. Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg, and that's it. That's his character. That's all he is. Or for example,
that's him.
Rob. He's a robot. That's it. That's his character. He's a robot. That's it. Chipz, he's this. He did change his clothing. That's it. He never changed how he looked. That's it. And Nuts only
He
changed. her
updated it
clothing.
to newer models, but that's it. It's still
Yeah.
the same
And he's still the same
anime
one.
character.
Even Kibble Clone, it's the same exact one. Just really upgraded.
Just upgraded.
It's just upgraded it, bro. Here's a picture of Kimple Clone if you guys don't know what we're talking about. And here's her Twitter.
Your man.
And here's my Discord if you want to add me Kimple Clone. And here's Ark's Discord. Okay, buddy. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to censor that. I'm gonna have to censor. I fucking hate you. Make editing so difficult, man. Even in 7th grade, you yell the N-word, I have to cut it out, bro. But yeah, that's what I noticed.
But yeah,
no.
that is theirs. Since me and you basically came into VRChat later, we more or less don't have a personal avatar. We have a base idea, right?
Uh-huh. I don't know, bro.
We'll stick in an
Your
avatar
profile
for a
picture's
set
a
amount
fat
of time.
cat of the Neckark, and you're wearing a knight armor, bro. I don't know about that one, Chief.
How do you know there's not a fat cat under this?
Okay, buddy. But yeah, go on. I get what you mean, yeah.
But yeah, I think that just comes down to the game and the way the game's set up, right? It gives you a single option to be everyone's exactly the same, but you get to be yourself. Or for instance, VR, being in the shoes, or Elden Ring, right? Either character customization or armor sets, right? Clothing. You might wear the same armor as someone else at some point, but your playstyle can be completely different, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Each...
perfect game. We got playstyle, nostalgia, individuality.
Individuality, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah. You create who you are, and you just
evolving over time. Yeah.
For example, E-Boys and E-Girls, most of the avatars look the exact same. I'm pretty sure my avatar has the same head and same hoodie at some point. But remember when we used to play it in 7th grade, I was on desktop and I was wearing that one Deku avatar that you made. I would rarely see somebody else wear a Deku avatar. And I would rarely see somebody else wear a Tips avatar. Wait, I don't know why you wore that so oftenly, but I rarely used to see that one. But now, people, since it's growing too, there's more people playing. I mean, it's good that more people playing. It brings more business into VR. We get new products, should probably change camera. It brings new
there's
people.
always good stuff. Yeah,
it keeps bringing more people in, more products, more technology, etc., etc. But it's also it loses some charismatic thing, because before you and I used to join, and we're like, bro, we're gonna VRChat, bro. We didn't even like think of like, oh, what we're gonna do in VRChat. We just join, and that's it. We would find something to do because it was new to us. But now that we're growing accustomed to it, and there's so many things to do that there's nothing to do. There's thousands of worlds now that are amazing and incredible. Well, which one do we go to? What do we do first? Or like, what do you want to do? What do you
There's
want to
nothing
play?
to keep you engaged.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you can go and interact, hang out and talk, have fun with people, but it's like you can only do this same thing a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Me going out into a public world, meeting a new person, figuring out their life story and hanging out with them, like, that takes a lot of energy, right? And takes a lot of time to do that. But I don't gain anything from that. That is literally me being bored and wanting to know what your existence is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's become stale. Like, you have, for instance, like you're saying, the e-boys, e-girls. They're newer people literally copy and paste, right? They saw their favorite YouTuber online, they get their avatar, and everyone has the same avatar on. And so, like, your individuality, unless you have a custom-made avatar, is non-existent,
Yeah.
right? Even though you are in VR as yourself, it's just you have no way of showing that besides having a conversation with someone. 90% of the time, no one wants to fucking talk to you. Like, you go and join a public world, there's 2 or 3 people who are actively trying to find someone else because they are bored.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just watching, right?
Like mirror dwellers.
I mean, you made another account because you're so bored and you want a fresh start.
Pretty much,
like,
yeah.
You've been using this one avatar so you can identify it as, this is me, not some
This
Genshin
motherfucker breaking me
character.
down. It's been like breaking me down piece to piece. Whole ass video essay here.
My bad, sorry, man.
But yeah, that's exactly that's
Yeah, that's exactly
exactly.
it.
Yeah, that's
So we
exactly.
need- and we go in public worlds,
Fucking stalker.
like, they're beautiful.
Yeah, go on. If you're listening, please tune
So-
into what this man just threw at
But
me. He just threw Shrek at me. But yeah, go on.
there are plenty of, like, massive worlds. And they look beautiful, but it's like you going through an art gallery, right?
Yeah.
People have great art, but it's like it's just art. Right?
Yeah,
Like, what am
yeah.
I gonna do with that?
That's what I was gonna say. Like
You need-
earlier today, I was like going through worlds.
I need
it's
to
like,
shoot someone.
oh,
Yeah.
a cool world. Next world. Oh, a cool world. Oh, a cool world. Oh, a cool world. And then it gets like stale. It gets boring. Like, well, yeah, they're cool. I enjoy watching them for like 5 seconds. And like, oh well, I saw everything. Next world. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing I wanted to bring up was, you know how like when you're like a kid and you're like, oh, I would kill to be Spider-Man or look like Spider-Man or be Kermit or do anything, bro. Like, my sister and my brother, they were young. My brother wears like these Five Nights at Freddy's avatars because that's what he loves. My sister wears this Hello Kitty avatars because that's what she loves. They want to be identified with like what they love. But right now, if I go out and like dress myself like something I love, like children, sorry, something I love, like Kratos, so it's just gonna be weird. Yeah, I didn't get a laugh, so people are gonna think that I'm serious. So,
You know,
no, I don't like children. Let's fix the camera. I don't like children. I don't like children. No.
I took that as in I'm not like children.
Oh no.
As in like children,
yeah,
like
yeah.
how a child
Yeah, yeah.
would.
But for example, if I
Not
go like, yeah. Anyway, we can move on now. Cut that. Cut.
Continue.
Alright, so like, for example, if I go out and dress up as Kratos, and it's like going, boy, have axe, boy, that's gonna be cringy. It's a grown ass dude, like playing as Kratos. Or if I go as Kermit, doing the Kermit voice, people can do the voice and be funny, but if I just go and do it and that's my whole character, it's gonna become annoying. So now you have to like find and be your own self. So people like won't like there's millions of things you can dress up as. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, book characters, video games, whatever.
But you have to like fight for it, right?
Yeah, you have to not just fight for it, but also like you're fighting for like how people see you. It's like, oh, it's just a probably little kid because he's wearing like this random Five Nights at Freddy's avatar, or like, but no, it's like a 34-year-old man that's like, oh no, I grew up with these games. That's why I love them. That's why I'm wearing this avatar. So maybe that's why
Or
they're going
like,
for, like
yeah.
they're
Or
going
like
for,
someone like you run into a new friend group and it's like, oh yeah, that's the avatar such and such wears.
yeah. It's
And
like,
now
well,
it's not you, it's the avatar such and such wears.
yeah. Or like for
So
example,
it's like,
like who was I with earlier? It was like the ferret. Like it's a ferret, you know. Like I didn't call it by the name. I was like, oh, it's a ferret. Yeah. Oh, hey ferret. Oh, hey ferret. Or like for example, earlier today, I was with one dude. He was wearing a Master Chief, and I didn't even look at his name. I was just like, hey Master Chief, this and that. Like, 'cause I thought about what he was wearing, but people haven't called me anything with this avatar because he has no personality whatsoever. They call me Sario because that's the only thing they can refer to. Because if they go that one dude, they're gonna which one? There's like 30 here. Which one? Oh, Sario, that one. So in order to build your like who you are, you have to like distinguish yourself. So me, that's why people are like
Yeah.
wearing more like e-boyish avatars. Though now we just say that one e-girl or that one e-boy. Who the fuck thinks of me? Oh,
they're basically they're attempting to be an individual and be unique, right? With all the tattoos, all the flashy shit,
yeah,
being super thick or buff or whatever. Like, oh, I'm unique. But in doing that, they've made themselves not unique by copying, pasting.
yeah,
All is the same thing. But the attempt, the want, right? The fight for the individual that I want to be unique is there. And that's why I think like a game or something for VR needs to come out that allows you to be yourself.
unique. Yeah.
But yeah, to be yourself and you autonomously, but autonomously or like in secret enough to be someone else, right? Like you are this VR character because, well, this is your VR character, right? You want to be this person, right? Someone like your little brother wanting to be a FNAF character. He doesn't exactly want to be like Freddy or Chica or Foxy or whatever. He doesn't want to be them. He wants to be like them, right? Like
Well,
people
no.
wanting to be Master Chief.
Well, no.
No, I mean like, as in like, he thinks that's cool, right?
Yeah,
like, for
yeah,
instance, me
that's a
being a
better way
night
to put it.
avatar. I
Yeah.
don't want to be this character, right?
Yeah.
I want to have like, I think night armor is cool. I
Yeah,
would think if I had a character, I would have like a knight armor on, and I would like to have like a sword or other junk. I think that would be cool as a character.
Yeah.
But there's nothing right now that allows you to build that individual self, but as you want it to be.
Yeah. So you have to find the closest thing
Unless
to
you
it.
spend money.
Yeah.
I mean, fat money, not like $40, $30.
Yeah, this would be a lot, man. Like the avatars we saw earlier, those are like a good grand. Those are hella. When to get into that? So we should probably like, make an announcement, huh? If there's anybody that wants to teach us how to make like avatars or anything like that, please, please,
I'll do things.
I want.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, $20. An avatar's an avatar. Oh, the phone's here. Oh, thank you, man.
So let you know if you hear yourself talking.
Bro,
Don't worry about it.
the fuck? That shit's scary now. Fuck that. But yeah, I mean, avatar creation is just such like a. It's so complicated, man.
It's so tedious, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you download Elden Ring and you customize your character, right? It's not like just, let me have this. It's like, let's dedicate a massive majority of your time
Yeah, but there's a yin for
to
a
look
yang.
unique in a free game.
Yeah, but there's a yin for a yang in Elden Ring. Like, I can be unique, but all I can change is my hairstyle, my skin color, how I look. That's it. But in VRChat, I can pull a gun out if I want with ammo counter. I can bring this whole headset out of nowhere, but it's going to take more effort and more work if I want to do it. So I guess there's like,
But I guess that's the
equal
cost for it being
balance.
free, though.
Yeah. Also, which I'm still amazed that VRChat is free, man. Like, I feel like they have thought about making it like $5, $10, $15, but they can't, cause you can't just make something free for like years and then be like, oh hey, it's not free anymore. You gotta pay for it. That's why they bring like VRChat Plus, so they can actually like invest more. But I think that if they made VRChat be like a one thing pay and then you can like buy VRChat Plus if you want, VRChat would be a completely different place. It'd be way better or way worse, because either money
Well,
gets.
the thing is, whenever you have to pay for a game, it's like, for instance, Zenith, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to play that anymore because you can't be yourself, right? You paid money to play this game, and that means the developers have to come to expectations, right? If it's not a free game, that means the developers, they have to get something, right? If it
Yeah.
has a way of making money, like Apex, you make skins, right? If you have to pay for the skins, it has to be something the community wants, right?
Yeah.
So you put money in to make that community. But yeah, if VRChat was a paid game, even $5 or whatever, it would make this game would eventually have to return something to its community, right? Because you're putting money into it, right? You're giving $5. $5 times a million, that's $5 million.
That took you so long.
That was like
yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to see if you.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Oh yeah. Go say it again.
No, man, it's whatever.
No,
They're gonna
but come
fucking
on.
do that.
Oh, come on, man. Just say.
Come on, man, please, man.
Come on, say 5 times. Wait, say it 5 times 1.
Man, I forgot.
5 times 1 million. Say it. Come on.
But 5 times 1 million is
250,000.
exactly.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah, but that's money. Like, where is that going? It's just going in their pocket. They need to return something. It's not the community needs to make avatars.
That's what. This is like the two options. You can get that some getting ambitious and not do anything with the money or spend it on their own, or you can return and get more players, more money, and all that equal exchange. But even bro, this game I would pay $60 for. Like, it's incredible. It's infinite. It's never ending. It's Minecraft basically. Look what I'm wearing. Look what I'm doing. I would pay $60 for this game. And I would be happy with the outcome that this is. If they told me that's it, we're not adding anything else, I would be like, okay, it's $60 well spent. Better than fucking Zenith.
But the
Better than Zenith.
but the reason why you're saying that is because it's due to your experience that you've gotten.
Oh yeah,
You
I
would
can
pay
sell some of that.
$60 to your experience, right? You would pay $60 to experience everything you have again, basically, right?
Yeah.
Having free community of all this, friends, people you've interacted with. But if we go back to whenever, like, I was trying to convince you to play VR, you fucking were like, what? Why would I do that?
Okay.
There's nothing on this headset.
Well, first of all, this game cost me $500 actually. $560.
Yes, I know. What I'm saying is, like, when you initially started playing, right, it was not like everything it is now, right? Like, you didn't have the experience, you didn't have all that. It was, you had an introduction, you started playing eventually you started liking it. It's not like, hey man, You can be Steve from Minecraft.
Well, you told me Kermit, and I was like, sold. Sold. Dude, those Kermit days were
Yeah, but if I
great.
say, hey, you could be Kermit, you have to pay $60 though.
First of all, my broke Mexican ass.
Okay, never mind. That's you. Never mind.
No, well, I mean, I had the money. Yeah, sure, bro. Dude, the one thing that fucking this, you want to know what this man did to me? Bro, this cool game called Nostal's coming out, bro.
How was I fucking supposed to know the future?
It's gonna be like this like great game. We're gonna have I drew okay, listen to this guy. I drew a whole map on a tablet of like where areas are gonna be, where Disney gonna stay at, where I was gonna stay at, where Luxie who we're playing with else at the time, where Maynard's gonna be, everything. I drew everything. And then this man releases a virus in China and like just kills half the population of the
Yes,
world.
I released COVID.
And then he purposely made me buy this headset just to ruin the game.
It's not my fault you're cringe.
What the fuck? It was all my fault. Wuhan. I like a taste for bats that day. But...
It genuinely isn't.
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Did I cause a fucking disease?
You created COVID-19, bro. The people gotta know about it.
Well,
This was all an intervention.
my bad.
This was all an intervention, bro.
This was all an intervention to expose me.
But yeah. But this man basically
That's the
said,
cause for
hey man,
COVID.
we can hang out in VR as Kermit and a big titty girlfriend. Sold.
I think I basically said that we're not going to be in school the entire time, and at least for me, I thought it was this, that we're not going to be in school the entire time. We might not exactly fucking bitch.
What the fuck did I do?
You fucking bitch. No, basically we won't be hanging out entirely, right? Like we might move. You might be stuck in Mexico. You might never communicate ever again.
Oh yeah,
and
because
VR
was also
is a
racist at the
platform.
time. He was also racist at the time.
Yeah, obviously.
Jerma
No, it's a
looked-
platform for communication that's like in person, basically, right? It's still hanging out with your friends. It's not. You want a Discord call? You want to Call of Duty?
Not even that. I didn't have a PS4 back then. I had a Quest. That's it. I didn't have a PS4 back then. We couldn't have played COD. That's it. We were just limited to hanging out at school. That's it. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like,
Yeah, and then you had a laptop, and we were hanging out on there, and it was like, even if you had a laptop, we can still. This is close to face, right?
yeah.
And then COVID-19 happened, and then we were stuck playing games together.
Stuck. Motherfucker. Yeah, bro, we're having such a great time playing video. I was stuck with you playing video games because nobody else played with me, bro.
But we were both having mental breakdowns. What do you mean?
Bro, it was dude. When we used to play Call of Duty, gunfight 2v2 in lunchtime, and we would go one more, bro. Before my class starts, one more. And we would play that and win, and I would go to class with my dick hard as a rock because I just beat two people in a gunfight. That was the life. I lived for that. Nothing has ever made me came that hard than when we used to do that.
Okay, man.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a heartfelt moment, and you're making it weird.
But dude, just when we play zombies, bro, that was great. Just over and over, man. I would go down, you pick me up, man. We're like, yo, bro, this
There
new
was
East...
the more or
No.
less was like a dream.
No,
Day
no.
in and day out
No,
playing
no,
video
no.
games with your
Bro.
best friend.
Bro, hear me out. Do the Michael Jackson, hee hee. But when, and remember like the new Cold War like event that happened? When we all ran into the stadium, there were jets flying by,
Oh,
fuck,
dude. Yeah.
and then like this old Russian dude was play like know your history or be doomed to repeat it. We go in, nuke falls on us. and the Cold War trailer starts playing live in front of us. We're reacting to it, bro. We're gonna be able to do this.
So right after class, that was.
And then, we were like on a call with a certain someone that's not in my life anymore because I don't know why she left me. But we were in a call, bro. But we were in a call, bro. And they were like, "Bro, it's about to start, man. You log in, join my party, bro. Join my party. It's starting now. Okay, we gotta find the clues, bro. It's Frank Woods, bro. It's Frank Woods. Like, he gave me a gun, bro." And then we started like running, bro. Dude, that right there was peak living. Just
Peak gaming, yep.
Dude, that was great. Dude, those are the most. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just reminiscing now.
like two old
I mean-
dudes.
Pretty much. But I think something like that feeling, right, of like basically the world ending and it's pretty much me and you were stuck in a room. Basically, it was pretty much me and you stuck in a room together and being able to play video games, right?
Yeah.
Without a repercussion.
Yeah, because there was
right?
nowhere else to do.
You're gonna go outside?
Yeah.
Like, personally, I think that was, as an introvert, that was like fucking the best, right?
Yeah,
for
fuck
you,
the
I can
milliseconds
clearly
of the
tell
night.
it wasn't because you were like fucking losing it.
What do you mean?
You were fucking losing it. At some point, you were just like fucking insane, and then you went in public, started communicating with people, and then you went back to normal.
Wait,
But
what
anyways,
Wait, no,
we'll talk about that
no,
time.
no, fall back, rewind that one. Wait. When did I start losing it?
Like near the end, you started fucking
Near
losing
the
it. Like,
end.
yo, bro, I need human communication.
Dude. I don't remember that.
But anyways,
Yeah, anyways.
I do very vividly.
Okay. Oh, is that when I got obsessed with like that one girl from Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was on hardcore drugs back then. I had to
You're
cope
pretty much what it looked like. But those experiences and shit, that kind of shit, I wish we could have in VR. Like,
Dude.
just sitting down playing an event that just happens.
Yeah, like it won't happen ever again.
That would be amazing.
I
yeah.
mean, not even an event, bro. Just like things we used to do. Like, for example, right now, we're in the good old times. Like, in a few years, we're going to be like, remember we used to make that one, like, YouTube podcast? And it was like, just talk about random shit, bro. That was the best. I wish I could go back. Just like right now, we're like, bro, we used to play Gunfight, like, right after, before lunch. And then we used to have to connect back to class, man. And we would just, like, play when we were, like, in class and everything. That was great. It's like, or like right now, you know what I do miss, bro? We would both get out of work and then get on like Overwatch and just like talk shit about a certain company that I used to work for. But we're just talking like shit about it, bro.
Bleep, bleep.
We used to just like bro, I hate when like they order this, bro, and like they make it difficult. Like that was great.
Yeah,
Dude.
fast food.
Dude, it's like that's why I want to like record everything now. Because even me ordering your food through DoorDash,
Yeah,
that shit
because
was
it's like
funny.
it's like a permanent memory.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So that, man, or like, dude, we're watching the videos like that we used to do in 8th grade and 9th grade about us like in PE and everything. You, I, and your family were laughing about you throwing a racket onto a little black kid's head
Oh, yeah.
and splitting it open, bro. I caught that in slow motion, bro. Dude, that was great.
It was
Dude,
great.
I don't even feel bad. Because I feel like if the kid saw that video, he will
I know we
laugh
should be
too.
recording this video.
No, bro. This man hit a little black kid on the head with a racket. And
We have to clarify. He's black.
and a little kid. And fat. Oh, bro.
Okay.
one thing that I did love.
Yeah, no, I get
Was-
you. What I mean is like
yeah,
the
Ah,
idea of like
nostalgia,
the
bro.
Easter egg.
Oh yeah. That. Sorry,
Like
bro.
the fact that all of us got together, all of those random people got together, but me and you were like, let's fucking go
Yeah.
and get something like that. I'd love for something like VRChat or contractors to do something like that.
It's probably gonna happen again. So, I mean, we're both excited for Liza P, bro, and we were like, man, or like just overall experiences that are yet to happen.
I
You
mean,
know?
something to experience with someone, right? Like
Yeah.
Lies of P, that's a game, but it's a story game, right? It's not
Yeah.
like me and you running through a fucking giant field being shot at by NPCs and random other people, and then
Yeah.
a nuke hits us. Like us running to the main area because it's going
Dude, that was fucking scary, but the best thing ever.
because
Man.
that's a traumatic experience, but in the good sense. Like
Yeah.
that's scarred in your brain permanently.
Maybe know that.
You know, it's just like fucking.
But yeah, I feel that.
You know, it's just like fucking
Just like someone put like a sword
really
in
in
the
there.
brain, bro. Oh man, these days, bro.
How do we end this, man?
I don't
I've been
know.
on this game for 7 hours.
Me too, bro. I don't have over your toolkit.
You've been on there for way more.
I know. But yeah, I guess we could just finish up like thinking about the old memories. Oh man. Man, bring it up. Come on, man. You got like a podcast in a hug all the time. Every ending. Alright.
It's
So,
great.
let me adjust this thing. Well, let's like
Oh my back, bro.
sit at the fireplace.
I've been like
bro.
sitting in a chair like this the entire time.
Been sitting in a chair, yeah, no shit. I've been levitating on this chair, bro. Alright. So, where's the autofocus at? There it is.
And it's like 3:33 a.m.
I know, bro. I'm not gonna work tomorrow.
I'd get up early.
Just kidding. But yeah. I guess this is the outro.
Yeah,
guys,
you're
for the
off like
podcast.
2 days, right?
Yeah, I'm off till. Yeah, but oh yeah. By the way, tomorrow I have to go to a Mexican party at 7, and on Saturday I have to go to a wedding. But Sunday.
Bro, just say no.
No, but hear me out, bro. They got good food. They got good food,
Is it coming to me? Then I don't give a fuck.
bro. Man, I'll DoorDash you some food, bro. I'll DoorDash you some food. No worries. I got you.
Please, man, please.
I'm
I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry.
You know, bro,
I'm hungry,
I'll pay
man.
you cookies, bro, for making this
I'm the
podcast with me.
goddess.
I'll pay you with cookies.
Really?
For this one. Jerma, look. I can get 13 pack, bro. I got you.
Let's go. We can't do it right now. They're closed, but yeah.
I was not gonna do it right now anyway. My cable's stuck. Alright. Oh, my butt plug. Alright, bro. So yeah. I mean, do you wanna plug in your Twitter, bro?
No.
Alright, never mind. He doesn't have a Twitter. It's not Accurate Series 9. It's
Just-
not that. Follow his YouTube channel. It's gonna be here. And follow my YouTube channel. The one you're on right
Yeah,
now.
when this comes out in 9 months.
Pretty much, bro. It's 4 hours long, bro. I don't know.
Oh my god, the last time you told me that it was an hour.
No. I'm like, with the videos combined. I mean-
Okay, I was like, oh my god. No. No.
No, this one is right now 2 hours long, 151 minutes, 1 hour and 51.
Okay, that's not that bad.
So 4 hours in total. Yeah. I mean, thank you for joining us. This has been the Great-Pog Podcast, brought to you by Pepsi and Cinovir. I don't want that to be the outro. Let's reel it again. Thank you for watching. Has been the Great-Pog Podcast, brought to you by Ark and me. We were just talking about shit.
Yeah, reminisce.
We reminisce on old memories. So
Losing the topic, going to a new one.
We started with ENA and came back to like you chugging a racket to little racket.
This is fucking ended, man.
God.
Alright. Oh, yeah, alright, so, thank you for watching. Just do whatever the fuck you want down there. Whoa, in the comment and like section. And, yeah, this has been Ark.
Put like ting ting sounds.
This has been Ark.
This has been Zeno.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Welcome to Disney Channel.
Peace out.
Oh, cut.
Fucking hate you, bro. I hate playing with you, bro. Fuck this shit.
Oh, fuck me. Alright, bro.
Man. Dude, 4 hours, man.
That's what I mean, man. You can't get me talking. Bro, I sit in my room like this all day. Like, halfway through the stream, you can see me going like this because it's at like 0.3 like minutes.
I thought you were
Like,
I was like, I'm gonna end it soon. This man wanna go to sleep. It's like, oh shit.
no, I'm like my body's dying.
Alright, man. Peace out, bro. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Bye, bro. I need to get full body already.
That's what I mean. My hands are plugged up to like an extension cord that's on the ground. So I lift my hands up and I'm literally holding an extension cord. This is as far as my hands are open. Like,
I'm done. I'm good now. Thank you, though, man. Bye-bye,
Good night,
man.
man.
Good night, bro. What the fuck is wrong with this, man?